Good evening, everybody. Retro coding time again. My favourite time, part 1. The code very, very clean. Not a big mess like I normally end up with. We're back in space with Spikie. I'm afraid I didn't get any progress made during today. Didn't have time. I did draw one sprite though. And I drew a new laser sprite. But other than that, nothing. Hope everyone's well out there. I'm going to pretty much get straight into it now. Quite looking forward to adding enemies, and hopefully if that doesn't take too long, some sort of background and do the colours as well for the screen. But knowing me, that'll take probably too long, but we'll try it. Lasers, hello Mike. Hope you're very well. I'm doing well today. Get the music gone. Right. Yeah, so the only thing I did was the laser, and I created a different enemy sprite like a flying saucer. And that's it. I had a thought about it in my head because at the moment I do want to keep this simple, so I'm going to try and keep all the enemies to the same size, and that's quite small. So maybe I'll have to have two different sizes. Because I couldn't really, it was hard to draw anything in that size. We left off, we're just able to draw it, but I gave up because of the, I didn't have a good idea of how to spawn it. Hello Geo, yeah, hopefully a Starfield. I mean, I've never done it, but what I want to do in this game is have some sort of particle effect when you kill the enemy, have it burst into particles if possible. And the same, similar to the stars, they're just little specks. I have no idea how we're going to deal with colours, but that's part of the fun, isn't it? Finding out. I think I do like this idea. It restricts me to certain time steps to spawn enemies on, but they're only 5 seconds chunks, and it goes up to something like stupid, like 16 minutes or something. I can't remember now. But where do I start? It's very much the same. We're doing the same thing over and over, really, just looping through them and calling one thing. I forgot I should call draw enemies here. Doesn't need to be a space there. Yeah, looks good. Well, I'll do the same thing with update. The only reason I've done this is so that I don't have to load IX. If I call this routine, it'll just do it. But just call it out. Hi Moz. Parallax scrolling. Wouldn't have a clue. Hello Microman. I've done parallax scrolling on Windows games before, but a lot easier. I think with Starfield, what I'll do is I'll create a star which will just be like a pixel, and then I'll just give it a different move, like a random movement speed. Just spawn loads of them, but maybe that's too much for the processor. Yo, we got all the gang here. I'm going to try and whip through it and actually make some progress this vid, hopefully. So we're still in familiar territory here, doing the same thing I always do. Still not sure whether that's really a good way of doing things. Seems to work. So this is essentially our update loop for each enemy. That's where it was getting complicated last night. I've given them a move speed independent. It's not a constant. So at some point I'll figure out different speeds for different enemies, and of course different Y speeds as well, which will mean you'll have like a wave formation or a straight line or whatever. It can get really complicated. I'm not a mathematician, and doing them waves is actually quite hard with this cos and sine and all that. But it's a necessary evil, I think, sometimes for these sort of games. All I really want to do is move it to the left right now. So, like I say, ix plus 0.5 the x speed. The position is plus 1. You'll get the x position. We'll sub speed. And put it back in. And similarly to how we did it with the bullet, so I did it, try and match it up and do it the same so that I don't have two different ways. It's here. So it's just the same as what I'm doing here. Good. Of course I need an A there. So A still contains the the X position. I'll probably just compare it to min X. Return if it's more than or equal to that. Or in fact, not return. Go to next. Jump NC. UE next. So if it's under the min, I think I'll put min plus 1 just to be safe. Although I don't need that, because I've got that buffer at the side of the screen that's not visible. In fact, I could probably do that, because it's obviously the left side of the sprite, and now it's less than, so it'll actually be completely off the screen now. We'll kill it. Yeah, that sounds like a good idea, Gio. Yeah, it does. What I just thought when I said that a minute ago was I'll probably actually create bytes, I mean full cells, and just randomly turn some of the bits to 1, and then I'll only be having to move complete cells. But of course, then I've got to roll them, haven't I? Or rotate them, or whatever you want to call it. We'll try it anyway. That's part of the fun. I have no clue how that will handle it, but I've seen it done in games, so I'm sure it can be done. Where am I? So we've found that it's gone past the X, the min X. So I just want to load IX. False. Try and be quite clear with my comments. Sometimes they end up a bit of a useless mess, but that'll do. Right, so that to me looks like a working enemy now, or in fact a working bunch of enemies. It's all about spawning them, and that's like the annoying thing. In my brain, what I want to do is I want to go through a loop of all enemies when we get to this particular byte in time. That's a time going up, but then I want to, because these are going to be quite far apart. Like that's like 20 seconds between, or 15 seconds between. But say for 1 second, I want to delay it between each spawn. But if I put a loop to wait, it's going to hold everything up, isn't it? This is why I never understand about how. Like if I put a loop here, and inside, before I go to next, I put a 1 second wait. Will the player still be able to move? Like, or will it be waiting for that? So I guess I could just try it, see what happens. So essentially, this spawn wave 1 is going to loop through all the enemies again. I think that's why I ended it last night. I wanted to put a spawn in here, didn't I? Uh, hmm. It's tricky, this. I mean, for example, a level will consist of like loads of constants. So spawn wave 1 will have a whole bunch of constants telling it what position it's going to spawn and what enemy and all that. Then we just fill that up with that data and make it alive. But I don't obviously want to do it all at once. As soon as it's made alive, it's going to try and draw it and everything, you know, so it has to be in a position on the screen. Or just to the side of it, of course, the 2 character cells to the side. So a spawn routine, I want to find a dead one. Well, no, that's what I said last night. I'm going to assume they are all dead. I've done bullet spawn in here. I think it's better to do it there. So I'll leave that there, but then I'll also make a spawn enemy one here. So this one, I think it's easiest just to say yes, you do need to just load it. Load IX. The enemy's pointer. No, in fact, I'll load it here. So again, if it gets to the end and doesn't manage to spawn, it'll just return. This time, if it finds a dead one, that's when we want to actually do the spawn. So if it's not that, go to next. Same old stuff again, innit? We don't really need to jump anywhere, we can just stay there, can't we? If it is not dead, I'm gonna jump. Yeah. So, well, it's probably easier to have a routine for this. It needs to do quite a few things. It needs to set the position of new enemy. It needs to set it to alive. That's like, well, set its type. Also makes it not dead. Be blatant about it. It would normally need to set its speed, but I've set them here. It's going to need to set its width. Do you know what? I don't think I need them. I'm going to try and keep them all the same size, or maybe just 2 sizes. So instead I'll just have a constant for enemy width. There's one in it. No, it's two. Eight. Right. So it doesn't need to set that. So yeah, it would just set its speed. Set its different speeds. I mean, just a case of typing it all in, isn't it, really? Again, like I say, a level would consist of a whole bunch of constants. You've got to try and keep this generic. It's going to spawn all the enemies. Quite tricky, this. It's quite tricky. Because really I want to be able to load it with a lot of this stuff. You know, what type is this enemy going to be? Where is its position? What is its speed? All in one. Thank you for the follow, mate. I'll read the name on my screen just now. Alpha Roy. Very welcome. Alpha, yeah. Nice to have you with us. I mean, it'd be very simple just to load this one enemy and tell it a specific direction to go in and where to start. But it's that loading it all in one that I'm struggling with here. Ooh, this is only a spawn. It's not going to happen very often, you know. Perhaps I need to use the shadow registers or something. Just muting myself a second just while I do something a bit noisy. This is a tough one, isn't it? Of how to think conceptually, you know, how are we going to lay this out? We've established a way of timing these waves and spawning a different wave at the time, but perhaps we just need to give it a number. And somehow from that one number know what constants to use. Okay, it's tricky to think about this. There's a lot of things, the position and the type. I just imagine I want it to like have 2 waves of this, and then after that, you know, the next we haven't even got, but say the third wave would be something different. My little brain, all I can think of is having a wave, every single wave have its own routine in here, which would be stupid. You know, I'd have to copy all of this each time with a slightly different name, and every single wave would basically be hard coded. I really want to avoid that. I mean, yeah, the X position's easy because that's pretty much always going to be max X. So we'll actually start off the screen now, I believe. The max X is right on the edge of the screen. Maybe not actually, but I can just as easily do that anyway. Right, let's do that. That's easy. That's the one easy bit. Flight pattern. Flight pattern alpha, flight pattern bravo. That sounds good. Yeah, that's sort of, I guess, where I was going with my number thing. Just giving it a number and then using that as template. Okay, so let me think about that. Where was it? Level. Yeah, I get you, because some will be like a diagonal movement up and down, and some will just be straight at you. Plus, some of them will start at Y position 10, and some will start at Y position 100 and stuff like that. I'm going to try. I'm just going to try and knock something together so that I'm not sat here doing absolutely nothing. But I'll try like pattern 1. We'll call it P1 type equals, because these don't cost us any memory space. These are like basically like our own notes almost. Can't remember what the name of the types I gave were. Bobhead. I'll get rid of Bobhead for now, but he will definitely be making an appearance. I'll put him down here. Alright, saucer. So the first pattern type is a saucer. And it just comes straight at you. Okay, that sounds advanced, but good idea. I don't even know how to do the bit where you said put it into the process. That's the bit that confuses me. Drop it in. but you'll have to forgive me because I am a bit thick sometimes. I know things I know, but other things can leave me stumped for a long time. Things I haven't learned yet. This might work, what I'm doing here. This might work. See how scalable this is. Pattern's going to be fixed. Oh yeah, this will have an ID. So I'll look. I'll check the ID. And from that I'll know which ones to use. I'm hoping this is going to work. Yeah, fair enough, Gio. Same here, mate. Same here. What I really want to avoid is overcomplicating it. Maybe I don't even need this spawn wave one thing. What I need to do is have a byte here, saying current pattern. When this reaches this is a timer of distance travelled. Might as well say time because it's not going to change. It's going to go up with time. We'll call this, that'd be fine, and I'll just set current pattern to 1. I probably don't even need ID. Although then I could actually maybe come up with something even more clever. But so now we've got a way of knowing what pattern we're waiting for, like we're on. That'll get set immediately when the pattern should be starting. Wait, why are we making the spectrum think? I must admit, sometimes I don't know what I'm doing. Like I bark up the wrong tree quite a lot. I realise I'm doing something that isn't right. There's an idea in here somewhere that will work, because what I'll do is inside here we'll check what. Wait, make sure I do it in the right place. Yeah, this is the right place. We'll find the current pattern, compare it. Use the processing. Right, I'm reading, I'm listening. Can you are you trying to say I could preload somehow, like every step? Because this is only happening not that often, this call here. But often enough, I guess. Draw them. Okay. Currently I have drawing code that looks only draws an alive. That's the update. Only draws the alive ones. And we also have something killing the ones that go off screen. Yeah. Sometimes I use too much of an object-orientated mindset, I think. Sometimes I feel like they're objects. It's a strange one. It's a bloody strange one. But my plan here, I may as well just try it. At least it's something in my brain that I'm trying. We now know what wave we're on, don't we? This is going to be one huge routine though. Maybe I've just messed up. I don't know. I was trying to follow through, but it's tough. It's harder than I anticipated to spawn these. Maybe I'm overthinking it. Like I say, I'm trying to plan the entire level rather than just spawning an enemy. This is just for one enemy as well, so in the level it will have to go through and like call that 5 times per wave. Maybe I can make this do all of them. The current pattern is pattern 1. I may have to make another state, like call it like pre-life and then dead, so that I don't have to, so that they don't just magically come back to life. Let's read this. I'm trying to take it in. I really am. Okay. I don't think I was, but all I'm thinking is, how does that save the processor? Because I'm only gonna, if you wanted to say a sine wave, it's all about the speed. Like, surely you're still having to move it every frame, aren't you? Do you know what I mean? Like, creating a snap. I don't know. I'm pretty done with this, I guess. I was going to use this to create a sine wave. But I hadn't even got to that stage yet. Basic sine table. Okay. Let's see what one of them might look like then. Does it involve minus numbers? Quicker. I don't know really myself, because if I've just got a speed of y1 and x1, and then I just change that to subtract. See, that's the other thing. I'm never using negative numbers, you'll notice. I've just been keeping it basic by adding or subtracting. That's another thing. But like I say, I haven't even got to the y. Imagine Imagine they all just go straight for now. I'm still struggling. All I'm trying to do is spawn them in a good time, if you know. Right now, I will just make them go straight because the sign thing and the wave. Oh, you know, that's another whole session, I think. To be honest, like I said, I hadn't even got them spawning yet, so. But for example, here I could have, just instead of having a constant for that, I could just have pattern one move type equals, and then have another list here that move types sign equals 0. You know, well, make straight equals 0. Can't really think of many other movements that they would have. Maybe homing. But again, that's not needed for spawning it, other than to set the speed, which you'll need to change all the time if it's a wave. Flight patterns in tables. Okay, what would one of them look like though, Gio? What would it look like? Would it be just a few numbers? If I just say flight pattern. This is where I'm completely baffled there. What would these bytes contain? Hmm. It would basically say, oh, I'm with you now, hang on, I'm with you now. So it would say something like X26 is where it starts, Y50. And then it could just go on like that. So I wouldn't need to worry about what speed it was or anything. It would be preset. I think this is what you're saying. And then I could just say, right, okay, so you're at 55 now, you know, 60. Is that right then, do you reckon? I mean, obviously it can look however you want it, can't it? As long as you know how to go through it in a logical order. Is this not using a lot of data? Is this roughly the kind of thing you were meaning, yeah? It's certainly an idea. I'd never thought of this. I get you. And then obviously we could have, you know, assign it to a pattern, like you said at the start. Yeah, it's got to be tough to remember back then. I mean, I'm surprised with myself how I do remember stuff. Like when I jump back into C# or C++, I suddenly remember things. Oops. 1 is half off the screen. Put it to 0, why not? So that would mean we wouldn't even need to kill it. I need to rewrite the entire code basically, don't I, to do this. Thinking of displaying it just made your head hurt. That's starting to look like a table now, though. Kind of get it. Hmm. Hmm. I'm betwixt now between two routes. Comment that out for a bit. I'm trying to remember how I've done sine waves in the past. I think I use. Oh yeah, this is the problem. This is why you need one of these tables on a spectrum, because I've obviously used multiplication, square root, division, all that, just like it's nothing in other programs. Do you know what I mean? To achieve a wave, so you can apply a velocity every frame and just calculate it with a few bits of math, can't you? Someone probably helped me with it along the way. No worries, Moz. You've come up with loads of gold ideas, honestly. I think I will go back to this as well. I'm just going to have to rewrite everything now, aren't I? I mean, it's a fair old chunk of data, that, for one flight pattern, isn't it? Of course, I could easily offset the Y if I want. I don't need to make another one just to do the, like, move it in somewhere else. Let's hear it, Geo. I could probably Google it, couldn't I? A sine table and cosine. Go on, Geo. I'll wait for that. Yeah, like I say, I'm in a fork in the road here. That's why I've paused, because I'm going to, like, killing the sprite in the way I was doing it is pointless if we're using this, for example, and loads of the other code is as well. But I'll wait for Geo. In fact, I'll be right back. I'm just going to pop off for 2 seconds. Won't be long. Oh, sorry to keep you waiting there. Hiya Micro, just reading your message. Yeah, it does look like a simple way of doing it, actually, now I look at it. Maybe there's a better way. When I say better, like less data. It might be more processor intensive though. You'd have to do a lot of division in the code and you'd have to really know your maths to figure out. There is a way of doing it. I've done it before. I couldn't remember it. But you can work it out in just maths. It's just maths. I could probably trawl through my Stack Exchange questions and find where someone answered it for me. Let's stick with this approach. Oh, the whole table thing is a bloody good idea, yeah. Rasterbar. What's Rasterbar program? It sounds cool. Yeah, so they just get assigned a flight pattern when we spawn them now then. It's still not easy, is it, to go through that frame by frame? Guess you'd have to have yet another byte to say what frame you're on. Or whatever the word is. Did he? That sounds clever, yeah. Lag test. In enemies. Love. Oh, it's so tricky. Oh, each one's going to have its own step. Bloody hell. I'm going to have to change the drawing code and everything. But the good thing is we can get rid of all this rubbish. In fact, it just has that. Ooh, got to do loads of the code again. Oh yeah, it doesn't just have that. It has its step as well. Maybe I could save the flight path. Because it does need to know. Oh, I need a word for that. I was going to say I could save the pointer to that in the enemy. Not sure if that's even doable. Cool, I'm out of my depth here a bit. Has to go through. It has to know what flight pattern for every enemy. Can we tell it somehow what flight plan it's in here so it knows? So at every frame I can just go, right, go to the correct flight plan, go to the amount of steps, and that's where you are. Yeah, no, that might work actually. So this will determine what current flight plan is. So the enemy will have to look at that to know which flight plan to access. Then just have its steps saved. Oh, very tricky. Maybe that's something I need to try, because look, it'd be nice to be able to store that as a pointer. Because right now this is all generic, but yeah, it only draws that one sprite of that specific size. I've still got to come up with some way of. Well, I could just check the type actually to know which sprite to draw. Actually, that wouldn't be very difficult. I'll do that right now. Then again, that's still pretty annoying. I'd have, yeah, leave that for now. So now we have to check the the current pattern, compare it. If it's 1, again I'm going to have to make a load of jumps again, isn't I, for each one. Doesn't seem right. Seems stupid. It's always like a rabbit hole. I always have to end up. There's going to be lots of these, you know, a hell of a lot of them. Does it need to know the pattern in the drawer? I think it does. Unless I store the position again like I was doing, even though we don't need to. It's basically all we're doing with this, but there's going to be dozens of them. Like there'll be 1, 4, 10, and all that. And it's just going to set the X position and the Y. It's going to tell us the position just by knowing the step. We just need to load the pointer for that, and that's it. I'm going to have to create a flipping function, a routine for every single one just to load IX differently. I don't know, it's hard. Imagine there's 2 of these. I don't know. Something like that. I can't be bothered to change the rest of them just yet, but something like that. So in all of the different things like the draw and the update will be much more simple. We'll just have to move a step up, down, however you want to put it, up I guess. It's really stupid. I need a routine for every single one. Just to load IX with either of these. Or to load HL or whatever. And that's it. Once it's in the right flight pattern, so for example 4 was the next one, wasn't it? Probably make constants for these as well soon. After I know this is the right way, or the way I'm going to do it. See, it's pattern 2, but its distance was 4, so it's two different things. I think I'll call it pattern 2. And that'll be a constant that each pattern will have a number for when it will start. So for example, get rid of that, we'll just call it P1 start. And that was 1 on the high byte. And then pattern 2. Do the rest later. Probably don't need any half of it. Right, so that makes a bit more sense now at least. There'd need to be loads of them. That's the really annoying thing. Eventually it'll come out of that and HL will be pointing at the right flight pattern. That's all that's doing. You basically want to end up calling draw sprite. And I will definitely keep it simple and just do the same size sprite every time. And the same sprite. It's all about that position. HL is pointing at the right one. So it's really tricky this. Are we using DE yet? I think we can get away with just loading DE with current step. Which is obviously 8 bits. I know this is that's probably not the best way of doing it, but I want to ensure that D and E is 0. So just so that I can load A with the current step. Oh, hang on. It's inside the IX register, isn't it? All I'm trying to do is add current step to HL. But it won't let me do that, so will it? Let me just try that. I'll be amazed if that works. It compiled. Alright, well, let's assume that works. That's brilliant. So I've pointed at the correct flight pattern, gone forward the correct number of steps. We don't need that. Let's comment it, but just in case we need it. So of course we need to add 2 steps every frame, because right here we're going to use interestingly, yeah, that's okay because we load, so this achieves loading HL, so I don't need to worry about decreasing it back to where it was for the loop. I think it's actually E first. It gets the lower one first. I still get confused here. I might have to do it the other way around. Right, that will actually work, I think. And then it'll just continue to the next, which is perfect. So the only thing I hated about this was we're going to have, say, 15 or 30 spawn waves, and that would require all them, which are really, just to set the HL pointer. If current pattern was the pointer instead, that's the way around it, isn't it? So yeah, I think that's a much better way. I hope this works because it's all new to me. But load HL, current pattern, and not brackets. No, brackets. Current pattern would need to be a word. And is that a legal thing? I don't know. It's certainly not. This might be though. Don't know. I hope it is. Oops. It's a legal statement. So the data inside that word becomes the address. That's what I'm hoping happens. I just wonder, is that possible? Would that be better? I think it might. This is where it could get messy because I won't be able to tell what's going wrong with this. If that's the case, then I need to do that. I think that looks better to me. I hope that works. Looks good. Update. Collision detection is going to be a bloody mess doing it this way. I don't know. It'll be pretty involved. Current step is 0, yeah. I mean, really, we should probably just add 2 steps here after drawing it. Oh, sure. Try it. We're already in the right one. Wonder though, will that mean that they draw really, really quickly? It's continually. No, I don't think it will, because it'll still reach that, come out the loop, and have to be called again. Oh, ink steps. Now we seem to have no need for the update loop. We want to check if D, sorry, yeah, D, if D is 0, that's when to kill it. I'm not sure if this should be called kill enemy, because it's quite a specific thing. It's already pointing. Not sure if you can do that. I think you can actually. Seems pretty good to me. Seems like we can just ditch the update at the moment. There was something I just thought about when you spawn. Got on it. Oh, current step will need to be put to 0. So if it's not dead already, perfect. Current wave. Still haven't thought of the original problem yet, which was going to be the timed spawning of them. I guess at this stage, it's taking a very long time. I'm just going to spawn one and try and see him go down the flight path. Yeah, I'll do that. Not true. Let's set his type properly. As long as it's not dead. I'm not sure if this is all legal stuff that I've just done, but almost to the point where notice I've loaded a shell twice here. It's fine. I probably want to do the same thing there though with pushing. Yeah. What was distance travelled? Please tell me I've started ticking that up. Got to do that. Don't think I've done that yet even. So instead I'm going to put the distance travelled to be equal to 256. That should mean it'll spawn straight away one enemy. But obviously cool level update and enemy draw. And here, full enemy spawn. If that equals 1, which I've just set it to be, so it shouldn't happen straight away. Should just spawn one, return, see it. And it should follow that path that we set. Ah, bugger. Some illegal commands maybe. Oh, just undefined. Looks better. Now we get the invalid stuff. 104. Oh dear. I'm sure it let us do that earlier. So you have to do it like that, I reckon. In which case, probably want to do. Do you want to do that? Damn, now I'm not so confident this is going to work. Invalid operand. Oh, you can't even do that. So that's why it was compiling, because I hadn't included these. So I thought it was compiling. Thought it was odd. Damn you. 120. Oh, so I can't even do that. Huh. I'm trying to put it into a 16-bit. Why was I trying to do that? God, I remember hitting this problem before. So that's why I was doing all that rubbish with it. Oh, I think it's E. What the hell's that error about? Switch into 3 password. Oh, it's that stuff. Didn't like. Alright. Not even needed. Entry point redefined. Okay, it was all just to do with that. But no enemy, sadly. That could be multiple bloody things, couldn't it? This is where breakpoints will come in handy. Where is it? Oh, pattern. I think that's where the problem is. I want to be able to use this, like the pointer of this. I doubt it will like that, will it? No. Out of interest, does it work the other way around? Uh, hmm. It ain't gonna like that load HL0 either, is it? Oh yeah, still no baddie. Just to make sure it's spawning, I'll do a little sound in there or something. I think the sound does kill some of the registers. Ah, we've got no sound. I haven't got any set border. Alright. Just not getting there by the looks of it. Which is this bit. That's a pretty good floor, yeah. Spikey's gonna be a different colour eventually. This is a huge floor though. I thought if it's 256, the upper byte should be 1. Can you define words like this? Not sure if it'll like that. Okay. It'll still not work, but why not? I'm at least expecting the border to change colour now. Nah, it doesn't even reach there, look. It could go black as soon as that gets cooled, so. Romulan. Cloaked Romulans. Right, well this now sets it to black, so will it happen? I don't think it will. No. So the rest of the code might be working for all we know. Oh, is it meant to be that? Oh, it's worked. Simples. Still didn't see an enemy though. Whoops, what did I just do there? It should go black now. Okay. Where the hell is this cloaked vessel? What was I doing? I didn't want bullet. Get rid of bullet. Right, so this was working. It should be P1 start. Of course I got rid of the border thing, but I'm sure it's working. I'll quickly do it just to make sure. I don't want to assume anything right now. Okie dokie. I'm happy at least that the bullets fire correctly. The last time I tried a game like this, they didn't even fire properly. Yeah, this is my favourite bit as well, the beginning. I love it. I said that right at the start actually of the vid today. My favourite bit. Later it gets stressful when you're running out of memory space and you've got a massive mess of code. This is definitely the fun part. So this is called spawns the little bugger. So it must be the flight pattern pointer that is incorrect. Let's get rid of update. Yeah, yeah, it's definitely a good time. I think everyone's like that, isn't it? We were saying it the other day where you just tend to start a project and then quit and start another one so often. Mm. Is it possible that it's being drawn off the screen and not moving? Um, Perhaps if I comment them out. Yeah, hopefully I will, Moz. I mean, I might move to a different system eventually with slightly less restriction. Oh, it just crashed. That's funny. It crashed only for me commenting them out. Huh. It appears that as soon as the thing comes on the screen, I don't like it. Okay, it crashed. Just want to check if that makes it crash. Yeah, exact same. Good. So it's nothing to do with them being over. I thought it might have been in character cells or some weird thing like that. Cool, this is Trixie. Trixie. Oh wait there. Something I could go back to how I originally had the code because it wasn't spawning at that stage. Oh, I'm putting level that side. I keep thinking it's the other way around. What am I doing here? Is it cut on pattern? Yeah. I mean that seems like a ass about face way of doing what I was just doing a minute ago. Oh, it worked though, kind of. I think it done what I said it did, where it's just gonna like every frame. It doesn't care. It just zooms so quick you didn't even see it happen out of memory. But we know it's done something. I'm gonna try and simplify this. This seems stupid. Alright, so it's there and it hasn't crashed now. Um, It'll probably just be in the exact same space now. Yeah. Oh, it crashed this time. Interesting. What the hell? What would make that crash? Weird. Perhaps that's just too far over. Thing is, the buffer is actually 28 wide. It's 24 plus 2 at either side. So that should be fine. Maybe I'll just start it there. It moved. What? This is major confusing, this. If you remember when I started out making this project, I wanted it to be so simple. I've ended up, this is going to be like almost like an R-type thing now by the time if we ever finish it. I find it weird that it stops where it does as well. Because that's actually like the position 2. Well, it's almost certainly one of the registers is just getting buggered, isn't it? Is that going to help? It might. No, I just don't get him. Oh, of course. Oh, no. At first I was thinking, oh, we're loading it here every loop. But that's okay. It's good actually, because the steps thing should take us through. Maybe it's D. Still made no difference. This was the problem I was worrying. There's so many things it could be. I have no clue. He appears and just shoots straight off. I feel like that's definitely wrong. It's pointing at the wrong thing. It just happens to pop him on the screen. Definitely be on the screen now. Oh, out of memory, but what's he doing out there? Maybe that. At least I can know if it's getting the right thing now, because I can move the X down. Maybe I have to do it on all of them. Ah, it's backwards, isn't it? Let's move right a whole bunch then. I noticed that it got muted. And the funny thing is, it's actually not like YouTube are really good at identifying copyrights and they tell you the exact owner of it and all that. And they've allowed it through. I think that Twitch mistakenly think it's another song. I think they're like their software that checks it might not be quite as advanced as YouTube's. Because it sounds like some other old 80s song at first. But it's off Turrican, the game. It's a shame. But yeah, it is on YouTube in full. The flight pads backwards. So where the draw code is in the enemy, probably just have to go like that instead. And then this might, I think that's correct now as well. It's looking a bit better now. Still out of memory though. There's a lot of things I have to mess around here with. Oh, weird how that makes no difference whatsoever. Yeah, some automatic thing. But YouTube's algorithm's really clever. It tells you within a second of you uploading it, it tells you who owns the copyright, what exact seconds in the video are affected and all that. Damn, we're pretty close here, but out of memory for some reason. Let me try and put this to higher up and see if the thing moves up. Yeah, it does, so get in there. I wonder what out of memory means. I've never seen that one. Because normally it's out of bounds. Or out of memory 40 to 1. See if it brings up anything on Google. This guy's saying it's a hardware error. Oh, it's so hard to find information. I don't know. I have to read more than 3 paragraphs. I give up. Sure, if I cancelled that out, it won't do anything. It probably work. No, it still does it. Okay. So maybe I can comment some other bits out. Ah, let's just try making that a jump. Oh, although it's not going to go to the next then. But basically, we don't want to increment it if we kill it. Or that's a bit inaccurate. We don't want to increment it when it's 0. We want to kill it and then make sure it's not incremented. Guess the quickest way my tired brain thinks is just to push AF, pop AF, jump Z, D next. That might solve everything. I mean, that's still not making it. I don't understand what hasn't moved, to be honest. Okay, we're no longer out of memory. Progress is being made, just super duper slowly. Why is he not moving? So somehow it's going to the same, like the first one of these over and over again. Even though I step up. Must be where I'm adding the steps. Either that or where I increment them. Move HL forward number of steps. That should work, shouldn't it? Don't see any problem with that. Try E there. Again, I don't think that is the answer. No. Ah. Oh yeah, here's where we actually do the increment of steps, yeah. Not sure why they wouldn't, why that doesn't work. because the pointer doesn't need to change. It can get loaded every frame. It probably doesn't need to be. Because I would have thought it would at least like vanish off the screen if this was adding the wrong amount of steps. You'd think it'd move or do something. I mean, I'll comment it just for clarity of what I'm trying to do. No probs fractal. I'm running low on ideas here now. I've got to that stage again where it feels like it should be working. I mean, we know with certainty that that works. And the position pretty much we can be sure of. I mean, if I comment them out, I'm pretty confident it'll work. It'll draw it at 1150. Ah, it vanished that time. That's good. That's what we wanted. Too quick. What the hell? Is that a pixel there as well? Yeah, it is. Something's not right, is it? Something's going weird here. I'll comment that out again like it was a minute ago. And then I just want to see if it successfully kills the player. That'll give us a white border. Oh, it did. So that was working adequately, except for it was so goddamn quick. For a minute, just for a while, I'll put 2 halts. I'll just try 1 halt. think that'll still be too quick. Yeah. What? My mind's boggled. And then it worked. Don't like having halts like all stacked. Because the game window has that disable interrupt, and in the last game it actually turned out that was all we needed to regulate the speed of the game. But that must have been because we were drawing lots of stuff like the background. There wasn't that much of a background, but there's quite a few cars. It might be because I put it all in here. Could have another loop like I was going to have. So many unanswered things for me right now. The speed thing's not worrying me too much. I'm sure there's a way around that. But what's really worrying me a bit is why it doesn't work at certain, why is it getting such weird behaviour? We had a stray pixel at one of them. That seems to work. Mm-hmm. Oops. Crazy stuff. If I comment out the kill, I'll check that now. Oh, that's a shame, Micro. I don't know what happened there. Hopefully it's not my internet. I have had a lot of internet problems. Comment out the kill enemy thing. First, I just want to experiment with these just for a second. Yeah, that flip. But for some reason, when it's starting quite high, it doesn't like it. High on the X. Oh, it crashed that time. That's when it works. If I got rid of that and then change that to load A1, and then I comment that out, should stop at the edge of the screen now. Halfway out. Oh, it just crashes. Oh, there's some major rewriting needed here, isn't there? I think the concept's good with the table of movement like you suggested, but I tried to sort of hack it into this, and maybe I just need to write it from scratch. I mean, the good news is, it's definitely finding these from that pointer. It definitely is. Most of them positions look correct. I'm pretty sure I probably need to like be more careful with the registers somewhere. One of the HLs or something. There you go. That has actually worked, but it's just gone to 0 and we can't see 0. Yeah, it still does it. I wasn't expecting it to go off the screen there. It does look like an extra sketch. I wondered what it was reminding me of. I wonder if Etch a Sketch had a Z80. Z80 inside. Of course, now we've got that same problem where it's just going to not stop. The specky bitmap routine. There's some trick with the bitmap. If you want to draw directly to the screen memory, I've noticed the Y, you separate the 2 bytes and think of it like a 16-bit number. And that way you can increment a line by just incrementing the high byte. And obviously a cell to the right is incrementing the low byte. But it does get bloody confusing, and I think it's much better to do that double buffering. What I want is for this just to stop at 2. Can't see why that wouldn't work actually. Something's completely wrong here. Got to be the incrementing, isn't it? It seems ineffectual. That's so weird. Current step. Why does it not work? At the HL pointer with 2, for example. Why doesn't it go to the next step? Much confusion lays ahead, I think. We need to delete all this. Start again. I think this is alright. All of this seems good to me, unless I'm assuming that works. And let's have a look how we do it with the stack point. It's a bit different with that, isn't it? It's essentially the same. Just have a word called stack pointer, get it back later. Yeah, it's basically the same as what I'm doing here. The only difference I can tell is this bit. No, it was setting it to be. What's it doing at the top? Yeah, I'm happy with that. I think that's okay. I bet drawing a line is well hard, yeah. Yes, I bet it is. I would struggle like hell to try and do that. But I kind of do understand the sprite drawing, just a rectangular sprite like we're drawing normally. Because like I say, if a sprite is 2 bits wide and 16 high, you find the origin, you move 1 to the right, then you move back to the left and down a line. And that's all just by incrementing that higher or lower bytes. It's easier said than done though, of course, it is tricky. I remember doing it, it messed my head up. And I end up just doing that dividing by 8 thing and all that rubbish. But it was that Chibi's website. It does detail it about how the upper byte is used for the Y. Hey man, Dan. Yes, this is a tricky one. Feels to me like the steps are just wrong. But when it's stepping through to the next step of the flight path. Maybe just that. Should be the same thing. Out of memory now. How can that not be the same? Oh, it's still out of memory. Why is it suddenly out of memory? Maybe, but I don't think that's the case, Micro. Because I pop almost immediately after every time. Maybe it is though. Maybe it is. That memory. It was just working a second ago though. I just changed something and forgot, I think. I mean, we don't even need that right now. Ah, of course, I'm expecting that to be getting incremented every time. Currently, it's not, so it's just going to call that over and over again. That shouldn't be anything to do with the memory thing, but that might be why it was looking like it was staying still. So I might have had it correct at one point. Whoa, look at that. Just prints 22 at the top and then K at the bottom. Too many. Yeah, I knew you meant that. Don't worry. I actually don't think that is the reason, but it might be. I don't know. I think HL was the wrong thing anyway. Well, I guess that might work. Still get this 22 stuff. That's not going to help it. Oh, yes, it has. The enemy is still not visible. If it was successfully killed, it would turn the border white. So I don't think it ever got spawned. Do another little set it to cyan. It's spawned and then it vanishes or never gets drawn. You like the bullets? Bullets don't have a flight path though. That's the problem. The bullets have a speed and then they just update in my usual way that I've always done, you know. These are much more complicated because they have to spawn in a certain pattern and then they have to travel a certain pattern. I probably should have went with something more simple than this game. Because in my head I was just thinking some very simple single screen thing with some enemies. But really that would never end up in a finished game. This would at least be fun to play if we finish it. You like the bullets. Oh, you do like the bullets, I get you. No worries, no worries. Yeah, they look pretty cool and very easy to make. I just drew them like that. I just drew them in ones and zeros. I'm completely dumbfounded here. We know as much as it gets spawned. I'm really baffled as to why this seems to have some weird effect on it when I remove some of them. Pain. Oh god, that wouldn't have gone down. Oh, it wouldn't have mattered. Still, we should be seeing it still. Something's wrong. Oh, not even calling draw sprite. Still don't see it. Oh dear. Oh, I saved it, but it said it's not saved. Maybe I didn't. Hey! Something came up. That's good. This is what I hate when I get into a problem where there's so many things. I had that hidden, and then I've just tried a load of stuff. Now I have to try it all again. Something was goofing up. Oh, that's quite a bit better. God knows why we've got two of them. What did I just change to get that? Oh, I just put that to E, yeah. It's not going to like this, but I'm going to try it anyway. I'm 99% sure that's wrong. Yeah, see, now it's going up, so. I think what's happened is, it's correct now, but the pointer's getting messed up at some point. Also, also that thing I was saying about keeps recalling it, it seems. Oh, wait. It didn't, it never kills it. It would have gone white, the border. Or did it, and then it just spawned another one. No sound. Kill cat. No, the kill call is there now. I'll put it to 0, like it should be, and then I'll make sure that there's a 0 here. Let's see what that looks like. Alright. Just killing it straight away. It's weird. It seems to me this isn't working because I mean it should be. It should work. It should only ever be able to spawn one time. It really should only be able to spawn one time, so I am going to put the sound in the spawn. And I just want to hear that one time. And I remember the sound does bugger up, like HL or something. I think it'll be alright because we load HL straight after anyways. Just continually spawning. I would expect it to continually spawn if this stayed the same and didn't get incremented. Ah, jump. Should be cool. No help. I genuinely really did think that was going to work. How? How can it be equal to that every time? I mean, just as a stupid test, I'll put. Surely it can only spawn one time now. Oops. and it did. And then you notice it moved somewhere. I find it bizarre because if I comment out some of these, it works almost perfectly. Oh, gone backwards. It's gone, the opposite of progress. I'll get rid of the sound because I know I have had problems trying to use that as a debug thing before. Let's do 6, whatever colour that is. Yellow or something. Oops. Definitely only spawning once now. I think now is the time for a debugger. I need to somehow click it before it buggers off. No, I can't do that. I'll have to set some sort of flipping way of pausing it. Oh, this is crazy. I find that stupid how that makes no difference. Well, it was almost working a minute ago. What did I change to make it so bad now? I think all I changed was the amount of these stupid things. Of course, we need all of them. Didn't make much difference, did it? Insane. Huh, that's not going to help, is it? Oh god, it's always so simple, isn't it? But now, I've got to figure out how it should be. So I have interest, would that have got to the end? I think it would. I think it would. You know what? I don't think it's going to make any difference, that. Mouse over the gutter, the line. Yeah, I know how to do that, definitely. But how do I trigger them? Yeah, I got you. I'm listening. I'll put one in here. For example, here where it spawns. And also the step thing I was thinking was wrong. There would be nice. But how do I get that to work without having it all hooked in? Yep. Oh yeah, I'm back in Fuse right now and the debug is awful. For me it is, at least. I'd have to use spin, but I think I'll get Dzog going and get it properly hooked in. Because then you build from here and you have like a bug here, that's it. You can run it here and then it boots the window for you. It just works all integrated. I had it a minute ago. I was very close, I think. XRA. Ah, I've made a big mistake here. For a start, I've loaded E here with steps, and then I've kept it as D on the compare. So if I change one, I've got to obviously change the other, but I also need to push pop it, because this will destroy lots of different registers. I mean, I could just load A with the current step again, compare 0. Good for you, Moz. Yeah, get yourself some sleep, man. I need to. I think I've just cracked this problem as well, so I'm gonna have a few more minutes. Okay, Micro, that seems helpful. That does seem helpful, although I've already had the Dzog kind of working. So I'm going to go for that approach in the end. But I think I just solved the problem. Good night, Micro. Thanks for all your help, man. Yeah, I'll certainly have to make a lot more iterations of this code before it works. Oh, there is no 0. I deleted it. I'm such an idiot. In fact, while I'm here messing around, let's get these straight again. They don't flicker all over the screen. Still ain't moving right. Irritating because I had it working a minute ago. You know what? I want to get rid of that temporary thing. I don't like it there. It's still not working, yeah. I would have thought that worked. Just to increment it by 1. That'll work. Ah, still does it. Well, much for me to think about. I think I'll end the vid at the 3 hour mark. I do appreciate everyone who's been watching. Sorry I didn't make more progress. I think I might even delete nearly everything and start again. Probably just keep these. But who knows? Maybe I can get this working. I'll try and make some progress tomorrow in the morning on my own, so we're not watching the same thing. I'll be back live tomorrow after 11 o'clock for sure. Same sort of time as usual. Again, thanks everyone for watching. Give me a follow on YouTube if you haven't done so already. Very much appreciate that. And yeah, enjoy the rest of your night. See you soon. Bye bye.